Consensual non-monogamy is more popular than you may think. That's according to several people our CBSN Originals team spoke with for its latest documentary. It's a lifestyle where committed partners agree to have sexual relationships with others. People who have lived this way for years say it carries a lot of stigma. Here's a preview.
It's a triad monogamous relationship, which sounds kind of weird. We don't date anybody else. Well, like most of the guys that I work with are like, dude, you're so lucky. You got two gorgeous women. I'm like, yeah, yes, they are beautiful. But it's not just because of, the sexuality of it and all that stuff. And we literally all have a full-on relationship.
And there are times, just to keep it completely real, where she gets on my nerves and I don't want to have sex with her, I want to have sex with him. So we have to figure out a way, and he gets on our nerves and we want to do things and we're just like, you go somewhere else for now. And so I think that with 3 people, it makes it a little bit easier to get those needs fulfilled.
There are places where it's not safe to tell people that you're polyamorous, and many people are not out. I've seen clients lose jobs because they're polyamorous. I think employers are aware that they don't have to allow employees to express themselves in terms of their relationship status because that isn't a protected class.
My ex-husband is explicitly concerned about my daughter specifically. I think he's in that mindset. This is not normal. This is not how it's supposed to be. So it's hard for him to grasp that.
Earlier, my colleague Tanya Rivero sat down with CBSN Originals executive producer Adam Yamaguchi.
Thank you so much for being with us. First off, could you explain what exactly is consensual non-monogamy?
Sure. Consensual non-monogamy is sort of an umbrella term that means that partners in a relationship have agreed to have sometimes multiple partners. And what's interesting in this piece...
are they all partners with each other?
Sometimes, not always. So in this piece, we explore a few different types of those relationships. One is an open relationship in which the man has a girlfriend and the woman has a boyfriend. And there's sort of a prescribed agreement that, on Mondays I'm going to spend my time with my girlfriend or with my boyfriend.
Right.
But it's, again, the idea is that this is all agreed upon. There's an arrangement made.
Right. And that the husband's girlfriend is not involved with the husband's wife, and the wife's boyfriend is not involved with the husband. Correct? Okay.
Yeah, so, and there's a lot of different terminology. Right. One of the other relationships we explore is what's called a closed quad, in which you've got 2 couples, and they essentially swap partners, but there's no sort of cross relationship between the 2 women or the 2 men themselves.
Gotcha.
And this is a relationship in which these 2 parents or these 2 couples also raised children together. So there's a whole sort of complex.
And they consider themselves equal parents, all 4.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So they are all co-parenting.
Right, and then there's a triad we saw there.
There's a triad as well. Yeah. So I mean, these relationships can take any number of shapes and sizes, if you will. But the constant is this is all agreed upon.
Right. No one is unhappy about this situation.
Right. And in many ways, these couples say, or these groupings say, that their lives and their relationships are in fact enriched by the fact that there are multiple people involved.
So Adam, how prevalent is this?
A lot more prevalent than you might think. We were actually very, very surprised to realize how prevalent it is. It's estimated that 4 to 5% of Americans are currently involved in some kind of consensual non-monogamous relationship.
That is surprising.
And a staggering 20%, that's 1 out of 5 people, have at one point been involved in this kind of relationship. And people who point to these statistics will remind you that 4.5% of the population is LGBTQ. So just to put that into perspective, I mean, that's a large number of people that we frankly never really hear about or understand the nature of the relationships.
And I would imagine that this community is growing.
It's not entirely clear whether it's growing. It's certainly becoming more. It's coming out into the open, in part because I think this is a difficult subject for a lot of people to talk about, and it hasn't been talked about. There's a huge stigma that is attached to this, and so really tracking what the number is or how the number has evolved over time is a little tricky at this point.
Which is a part of the larger theme of the whole series, right? Things are hard to talk about. Adam Yamaguchi, thank you so much for joining us. And the CBSN Originals Speaking Frankly, Non-Monogamy will air this Sunday at 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern, but you can stream the full documentary at any time on cbsnews.com/open.